Today I'm sharing a secret weapon God gave us to fight the enemy's attacks. Stay till the end to learn how self-control is actually a spiritual defense.
Proverbs 25:28 says, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. So this verse is really speaking to the fact that self-control is our defense. It is our defense and fence, like literally our barrier to keep the enemy out. So if we don't have self-control, he can literally walk into our city, walk into our house, and do whatever he pleases because we did not put up proper defense mechanisms to keep him out. And this is exactly how it is in spiritual warfare. We think that the thoughts that come into our minds are always our thoughts. And until you realize that there is so many thoughts coming into your minds, most of which are not your own. They come from the enemy, they come from God, they come from your own imagination. But ultimately, if you can't recognize where the enemy is beginning to attack you, you won't even realize that you are about to enter a war zone. And rather than being aware of what's happening in your own mind, you take that thought as your own and you roll with it. You didn't realize that the very first thought that came in was planted by the enemy. And that is actually where the initial warfare began. But you did not have the self-control to recognize it and to either engage in battle by using the full armor of God or shut it down through your self-control and look the other way. So instead, you let those thoughts roll in, and without realizing it, you surrendered to the battle that began in your mind. And this is why it is so easy for the devil to win these battles, because we don't even know we're in the battle. And it's not really that obvious until you begin to recognize what sort of thoughts he brings to you. What thoughts does God bring to you? And you can realize that you have a decision at all times. Do I want to believe what the enemy is saying, or do I want to believe what God is saying? Because if I take in what the enemy is saying, even though I think it's my own thought, it's still a lie and it still goes against the word of God. And now, because you decided to believe a lie that came from the enemy, even though it seemed like it was your own thought, you have given the enemy a foothold into your mind, into your life, into that situation. And now you are actually in sin, because sin is really just something that does not agree with what God has said is truth. And so now the enemy has a legal access point to come into your life and to do whatever he wants in that situation because you gave him a foothold.